Good afternoon. I think we'll make a start. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to this UNEA 7 side event on strengthening and harmonizing ocean governance for a resilient future by 2030. And thank you for joining us here this afternoon. My name is Ole Vestergaard from UNEP Marine and Freshwater Branch. And today we come together to discuss how regional cooperation, science-based policy and inclusive governance can accelerate the implementation of global ocean biodiversity commitments. And to guide us and moderate our discussion today, we are pleased to be joined by Mr. Alberto Pacheco, the head of the Regional Seas Branch, who will be moderating our first panel, and by Ms. Heidi Savelli, acting head of Marine and Freshwater Branch, who will moderate the second panel. We will also have an opening keynote speech from UNEP's Director for the Ecosystems Division, Dr. Susan Gardner. And for the closing remarks, we have the UN Secretary General's Special Envoy for the Ocean, Ambassador Peter Thompson. But let us jump into the opening of the side event, and I'm pleased to invite Dr. Susan Gardner, Director of the Ecosystems Division, to give her keynote speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Ole. Well, I'm very pleased to be here and help get us started. Excellencies, colleagues, friends, it's so good to see so many of you here. And I thought maybe we could start out by just taking you to a small area called Pemba. It's just off the coast of Tanzania. And I want to share a story of a young mother's experience. For most of her life, this young mother, Fatuma, she harvested seaweed and repaired fishing nets for her husband. But she also, of course, like many mothers do, had the responsibilities for fetching water, for cooking, for raising 3 children, even though those duties often earned almost nothing for it. In this situation, like so many, the fishing decisions were taken by the husband alone. And his income from small-scale fishing, while uncertain, it was all that the family had to rely on. And then there was the Pemba Channel Conservation Area, also known as PECA. It began its marine spatial planning work, and it was supported by the Nairobi Convention. Fatuma was invited to join a training session where she could become a sea cucumber farmer. And this was an invitation that by accepting it, she changed her life. Today, she actually earns dividends from the sea cucumber cooperative, and she has small but steady payments from PECA that actually help from activities like monitoring the progress of the conservation work and occasionally getting extra income from helping out with tourism guides. She can plan school fees now for her children. She can feel secure about having food for them. She can even make some small investments because she earns regularly. And in fact, now I'm told even her husband has begun to consult her on big decisions about major expenses. So why am I bringing this story here to you to open this session? Well, the pressures on our coast and high seas, they're rising fast, as we all know, whether that's climate impacts, coastal development, or pollution. And yet, our habits and the way that we govern is still too often siloed. We have maybe conservation in one forum, and then we have fisheries in another, and you have climate and mining and shipping and trade, each with their own systems. And the result is you get gaps, and you get inconsistencies of standards and inconsistencies of decisions, and sometimes they can all be pulling in different directions. But if we look at examples like PECA, and if we want these examples to spread, we need inclusive ocean governance that breaks those silos and aligns implementation of multilateral environmental agreements and puts people at the center of ocean action, action that actually improves their lives. And the regional seas were created precisely for this. For 50 years, UNEP and the Regional Seas Program have been working with countries to turn global commitments into concrete regional actions. First, just with common rules. Regional seas helping parties to translate global norms into actual legally binding regional protocols. The second is through coordinated implementation, so that countries can be planning together, monitoring together, increasing enforcement together. And third is through